Choosing to sack the Drapion, I'm going to come into Latias. I look top right, I see Mandibuzz, and my fingers are super quick on the switch. We are about to feast with Smackdown Tyranitar. Mandibuzz can throw whatever it likes. Tyranitar doesn't care. We commit to the Smackdown farm down and we leave absolutely loaded. So if you're playing the Willpower Cup, you all know Mandibuzz is absolutely everywhere and Tyranitar absolutely feasts. So welcome back home of Shadow Pokemon. We have got something different today. We normally count fast moves, manage energy well, but today we are going for the absolute opposite. It's all about alignment and the fast move beatdown, and my god, do Tyranitar and Latias put a beatdown on this meta. These battles were played on my friend's Discord server. Shout out to Dazed and Confused for recording. But without any further ado, let's get into the battles. So in game 1, we lead Drapion into Latias. You absolutely love to see it. I throw on 7, which is the correct timing. 2-turn versus 3-turn, we draw a shield. With the first crunch, the charms aren't that oppressive. To the dark poison type, and they're only neutral. The opponent makes a great switch. Catching move number 2 on their skunk tank. We now answer with Tyranitar. Tyranitar does resist the poison jabs. We actually resist everything. If you've played this cup, you may as well shield, because let's not kid ourselves. You don't get much opportunity to shield them up. We leave with the crunch. Back out comes the Latias. They are going to have to commit their final shield or get taken out. They commit their final shield. The Smackdowns are absolutely chunking everything. They're only neutral, but this Latias is now deep into the yellow. We are going to come in, commit to the Charm Down, Farm Down. What is the opponent's final Pokemon? They have Sableye, the Charm, shredding them. Likewise, Shadow Claws ripping through us. We need just to make one move, and guess what? Drapion on 1 HP and a Dream is going to make the crunch. The opponent desperately trying to Shadow Claw us down, but Drapion says no chance. GG's and thanks for playing. So the tip of the day is, if you're going to play this cup, you need to use shields, because often you will die with 2. A lot of people love to run stuff like triple charm, and to be honest, you really aren't going to get much opportunity to shield a charge move. Moving on into the next one, we see Pawnyard in the lead. Pretty dreadful for the entirety of our team. I believe this is far too quick for an Iron Head, and the opponent is actually on X Scissor. Interesting, but either way, Drapion, despite its unfavourable typing, is going to make crunch number 2, and this draws a shield from the opponent. As always, Drapion is the spammy mon. We're looking to get shields down with Drapion and hope that our oppressive mon in the back can RPS the opponent. We come in with Latias. We are going to have to commit a shield. Latias made of absolute paper. We do commit to the Charm Down, Farm Down. What does the opponent have for us in the back? It is a Galarian Rapidash. I look to catch a body slam onto my Tyranitar. We are unsuccessful. The opponent is going to have to play rough to take us out, but as always, my huge cojones call the body slam bait, the Smackdown, ripping this thing apart. If the opponent chooses to come into this, I am going to allow Tyranitar to go down, and in the back, it's Mandibuzz. Can we win this with a shield? The opponent looking to air slash down. We go for the Charm Down, Farm Down, and unfortunately, the opponent survives on 1 HP and a Dream. Moving on to the next one. We see Skunk Tank in the lead. The opponent immediately safe switches into Hisuian Quillfish. Triple Dark Poison, Mr. Opponent. Is Claydol real? Apparently you don't think so, but either way, we're going to stay in with Drapion. Look to get some shields down. The opponent goes for the Aqua Tail. We shrug it off. The opponent is going to have to Ice Beam to take us out. Let's see if the opponent goes for the correct play. They do take us out with an Ice Beam, but we got the defense drop, so we know we can come in with Latias, commit to the Charm Down, Farm Down. This is just an Aqua Tail, despite me being made of absolute paper. I am going to shield a fuck all. Latias tank that surprisingly well. They've got Skunk Tank in the back. We bring in the big monster. Smackdown Tyranitar is going to start absolutely feasting. I'm really hoping the opponent isn't on Aqua Tail. We throw the crunch as soon as we get it fishing for the defense drop, and we get the defense drop. I am going to shield up, respecting an Aqua Tail, and to my disgust, they have Aqua Tail. Can we smack it all the way down before Aqua Tail number 2? We cannot. However, we are pretty loaded on energy. Tyranitar pretty slow, 2 charge moves. We are going to hopefully survive this move. The opponent still has a shield remaining, so I'm going to fish for another defense drop. We fire off the crunch. Do we get the ever important defense drop? No we don't. So we now switch out into Latias, allowing the opponent minimal farm. We don't get the Charm Down, Farm Down. It's now Poison Jab versus Smackdown Tyranitar on low HP, and we get a simultaneous KO. GG's and thanks for playing. Moving on to the next one. We see Umbreon in the lead. Pretty neutral for Drapion. If you throw at good timing, 1, 4 and 7, you win this in the 0 shield. You will CMP tie to the Sludge Bomb when they make the next foul play after landing to last resort. So my top tip, throw at good timing, don't throw like a potato. So as you can see, I am throwing at good timing we are going to land Sludge Bomb. Number 2, the opponent actually shield, so fuck it, we're not going to put out the 0 shield, but it is a matchup you need to know. We are actually going to survive any one move. The opponent goes for a foul play bait. Drapion says, I wasn't going to shield anyway. We make Sludge Bomb. Number 2, this is going to do decent damage to the Umbreon. They now aggressively switch out into Obstagoon, and we've got a great response with our Charmer. However, the issue we have, as the opponent aggressively swapped, I believe they might be double counter. We shield up the Night Slash. Can we Charm Down before the second? We cannot. Apparently I wasn't quick enough on the switch. We are going to have to commit our final shield. Latias doesn't appreciate any moves that are super effective. The opponent is going to take us out with a foul play, and it's going to be Tyranitar versus whatever is in the back. We simultaneously KO, and the opponent's final Pokemon is Drapion. Things are looking somewhat problematic. It's going to be about whether the opponent is on Aqua Tail. We did wait out our full timer. You already know, kids. I am going to stay in school and learn to count. The win con here will be making the sacrificial swap. We are going to fire off a Crunch. Crunch will not KO, but will draw the final shield from the opponent. We get the defense drop. I'm spamming out the switch, and just like that, we flip the game on its head. The opponent cannot undercharge enough to make a charge move. Tyranitar comes back in, and we manage to smack it all the way down, and that is going to be all she wrote. GG's, and thanks for playing. Moving on to the next battle, we see Toxicroak in the lead. Drapion has a dreadful matchup here, especially when you're not on Aqua Tail. But if you think this matchup's bad, imagine double super effective counters on our Ttar. So we're just going to sack our lead. The opponent no shields the Crunch, and for some unknown reason, they fire the Mud Bomb. As soon as they get it, I'm not complaining. Down goes Drapion. We spam in Latias. I see top right. They bring in Mandibuzz, and this time, learning from a mistake, as I was playing like a potato in the last game, switching too late, I am super quick on the response. That's pretty much the story of GBL. If you have a bad matchup in the previous one, don't let it affect your next games. We do manage to smack it all the way down. Toxicroak is going to delete us with a counter, so I'm going to spam out the Crunch. Immediately, Crunch from Ttar is absolutely one-shot in the paper fin. Toxicroak, the opponent, commits their final shield. It's now 2-shielded Latias versus the world. The opponent makes a charge move. We are going to need to start shielding up absolutely everything. They go for the Mud Bomb, and in the back, it's Skunk Tank. Do we manage to commit to the Charm Down, Farm Down? Absolutely not. We get Poison Jab down and lose that battle. Moving on to the next one. We switch up our lead, realising Toxicroak is a huge problem for this team. So we've now brought in Rank 1 XL Sableye. You might be thinking Mandibuzz is a bad matchup. Well, my XL Rank 1 wins the zeros. We throw one Shadow Claw and the Power Gem. Power Gem lands for big damage. The opponent brings in something that looks like it should be in the My Little Pony section of a kid's store. We get off as much Shadow Claw damage as possible. The opponent takes us out with a Body Slam. I believe the opponent is one short of the Mega Horn or Play Rush, so I believe I am going to save my shields for Tyranitar. We tank the Body Slam, commit to the Charm Down, Farm Down, back out. Comes Mandibuzz. They're desperately trying to air slash us down. I realise they'll probably make it. We snipe with a Smackdown. The opponent's got Raichu in the back, and that's all she wrote. GG's, and thanks for playing. Moving on into the next one, we pick up Toxicroak, the exact lead we are looking for. The opponent is staying in, so I imagine they're going to try and catch a foul play. We see Mandibuzz come in, and guess what? I'm far too smart to allow myself to get a foul play caught on a dark type. Tyranitar now absolutely feasting. The opponent goes for Aerial Ass, and I imagine they must be on Shadow Ball as a second move, because Aerial Ace definitely isn't the move. We're going to tank both of these charge moves. Tyranitar leaves absolutely loaded. Once again, I am going to spam out the Crunch, just because I'm going to blind Crunch. One counter is going to take us out. Crunch doesn't actually knock out, but this opponent is now left on 1 HP and a Dream. Well, it's actually probably about 4 HP, but we can tank the Mud Bomb, no problem whatsoever. We will commit to the Shadow Claw down, so the opponent smartly swaps out into their third, and this is RPS City. They've got Sableye in the back. We delete that with Charm, and Latias deletes Toxicroak with a Charm as well. GG's, and thanks for playing. Moving on into the next battle, we see Claydol in the lead. Pretty neutral, I suppose. Mud Slaps do really chunk, but Drapion does hit back for super effective with the Crunches. We fire off the Crunch. The opponent shields it up. You love to see it. We do not get the defense drop. You do not love to see that, but fuck it. We're going to spam out Crunch. Number 2, we can't really switch out. As Tyranitar would get eaten alive. The opponent double shields and throws on a CMP tie. Mr. Opponent, what are you doing? We get taken out with an Ice Beam. Well, we don't, because the opponent no bubbles it. Realising they made a huge misplay, we now come in to Latias. We are looking to go for the Charm Down, Farm Down. We are going to have to shield it up because, well, we need to use shields somewhere, and Ice Beam would probably take out every Shadow Latias in the entire world. We do Charm all the way down. The opponent has Victini, we look to get off some smackdown damage. Tyranitar tanks everything, but evidently not particularly well. And the opponent's final Pokemon is a Tyranitar of their own. We are going to look to fire off the crunch, smack it down, we get the crunch, we don't get the defense drop, so we now have to charm down, farm down, and finally, for probably the first time in the history of the game, Latias makes a charge move. Thunder is going to be high, Victini by Victini. GG's, and thanks for playing. Shout out to my opponent, also on that Shadow Tyranitar hype train. Evidently not a fan of Mandibuzz. Moving on to the next battle, we see Rapidash in the lead. We're both hitting each other for super effective. The opponent is going to have to play rough or Mega Horn to do any meaningful damage. We go straight for the foul play. The opponent shields it up. As always, I've got no intentions of shielding up Sableye, and this opponent goes for the body slam bait. You love to see it. The opponent fires once again. This is also a body slam, so again Sableye shows no respect. The opponent gets Shadow Clawed farm down. The opponent now brings in Toxicroak. Sableye going on an absolute tear up. Foul play is resisted. Someone forgot to tell Toxicroak they are looking to go for the aggressive counter farm down on rank 1. Sableye is running through the opponent's team. It took out almost 2 Pokemon and got all shields. We bring in the Latias. We are going to have to shield up absolutely anything. Hopefully they're weak to Tyranitar. In the back they are not. It's Claydol. Mod Slap hitting for super effective. Smackdown hitting for resisted, but Tyranitar is going to hang on. We are going to shield up whatever they throw. We're at the crunch, and crunch is going to be night night. Sleep tight, Claydol. You might think you're bulky. Well, guess what? Not bulky enough for the wrath of Tyranitar. We do get counter farm down, but 1 charm is all she wrote. GG's, and thanks for playing. Moving on to the next one. We see a bit of Scorpion on Scorpion action. What moveset is the opponent on? I lose CMP. You hate to see it. I have no idea why we both threw at 8, but we did anyway. The opponent is on Aqua Tail. I'm going for the crunch, as we have no Aqua Tail. Crunch fishes for the defense drop. We don't get it. The opponent lets me get to crunch. Number 2, this is going to lower the health of the Drapion. They're now super low. We get the defense drop. The opponent is going to fire off the Aqua Tail. Aqua Tail doesn't knock out. The opponent forced to dump all of their energy, and we are now sitting in a pretty sweet spot. Well, perhaps we are, but we got 2 RPS Pokemon. We aggressively bring in Tyranitar. They bring in Quillfish. Smackdown, absolutely tearing this little pesky fish apart. We are going to shield up the Aqua Tail. Can I catch Aqua Tail? Number 2. I'm not sure, as it didn't look like the cleanest catch, but we call the Aqua Tail anyway, and it is just an Aqua Tail. We now manage to charm down, farm down. What does the opponent have in the back? And it is the second Dark Poison charm, tearing through Skunk Tank. Skunk Tank super low. The opponent has 2 shields, so we are going to go for the fast move beat down finish. We are going to shield up whatever they throw. It's just a crunch, but I really don't care. Back out comes Drapion, and the opponent saves 2 shields for next season. You love to see it. Moving on to the next one. We see Raichu in the lead. The opponent shits their pants, brings in the flying Umbreon, but guess what? We have Tyranitar. Foul play does pretty much nothing. Well, about as little as a move can do to Shadow Tyranitar. This move probably will take me out, but I really don't care because we've got 2 great answers. For Raichu, it's actually a simultaneous KO. And now it's time to gamble. Will the opponent bring in Raichu? Will they bring in their third? I bring in Latias. They bring back out the Raichu charm. Ripping this thing apart. Wild Charge will hit for big resisted damage. I am going to shield it up. Look to get off some charm damage on whatever's in the back. And that seems to be a very nice play. They've got Toxicroak. We can allow them to take me out. And it's going to be another fast move beatdown finish. We had the Thunder, but there's no point in wasting time throwing that. We farm down Toxicroak with Shadow Claws. Back out comes Raichu, and Sableye says, night night, sleep tight. Moving on to the next one, we see Gothitelle in the lead. We're both hitting each other for super effective. The opponent attempts to make a catch onto their Leopard. You might think, why the hell am I bringing in Tyranitar? Well, they're probably triple charm, so I may as well get off some smackdown damage and use it somewhere. We get this thing fairly low. We now come in to our own Charmer, Sableye, looking like it's in a rough spot. And there is Charmer, number 3, Gallade, super low on HP. And you can see I'm going to get Charm down, Farm down. So, after me giving everyone the fast move beatdown, I get a taste of my own medicine. You hate to see it. Moving on to the next one. We see Toxicroak in the lead. The opponent comes in to Alola Mock. I build up some energy, switch out into Tyranitar. Tyranitar can tank these charge moves, although the Dark Pulse does hit for big damage. Tyranitar is going to fire off a Crunch, hoping to get a shield off the opponent, as really I want to get some shields down the opponent. Just lets it go. And what the heck is this? I thought I'd get deleted with one counter. They're actually on Poison Jab. Holy smokes, that is somewhat of a spicy moveset. We are going to tank the Mud Bomb. Mud Bomb does a respectable amount of damage. We fire off the Foul Play, seeing if the opponent wants to put up a Protect Shield. Surely they do, but they do not. We manage to Shadow Claw it all the way down, and in the back there is Dark Poison. Number 2. I fire off a Foul Play. Foul Play does draw a shield, but I've got no idea why I bothered, as we already know this is going to be yet another fast move beatdown, and the opponent concedes the match. GG's, and thanks for playing. Moving on to the next battle, we see Zweilos in the lead. Not particularly great for Sableye, but they do let me get off the Power Gem. You might be thinking, why am I not switching? Because look at this back line. There is no safe switch on this team. The opponent lets themselves get super low. They fire off the Body Slam. Body Slam doesn't KO. The opponent realizes that was a shit play. They fire off Body Slam. Number 2, best case scenario for myself, as they are not going to get to a charge move. We smack it down. What do they have? They bring in Rapidash. I aggressively switch in the Charmer, and in the back it's Mandibuzz. Can we close out this battle? The opponent is going to reach the Foul Play. I've got no idea where I want to use these shields, so I decide to let it go down. We come in with Tyranitar, look to smack it all the way down. I realise the opponent is going to make a charge move, so I am going to have to fire off the Crunch on a CMP tie. The opponent shields it up. We are now in a tricky spot. I return the shield, knowing I'm going to need as much smackdown damage as possible. Back out comes the Rapidash, but the problem is going to be if they make 2 moves. Body Slam will take me out. Can Tyranitar smack it down before Body Slam? Number 2. No, we cannot. And we're going to lose that battle. GG's to the opponent. Moving straight on into the next battle, we see Shadow Drapion into Victini. Pretty good-ish matchup. The opponent switches out into Mandibuzz. Once again, I respond with the big dinosaur-looking motherfucker, Shadow Tyranitar. This matchup is super boring, hence Dazed and Confused has a little switch to see who's watching this absolute insanity. We are going to fire off the Crunch, knowing the opponent isn't going to be able to return with Victini. Crunch doesn't actually KO, but either way, this move isn't going to knock me out either. We do manage to retain some sort of alignment. The opponent's final Pokemon is Umbreon. We are going to bring in our Charmer. I think at this stage, I'm just going to save shields for Drapion. The opponent is now in the yellow. Can we survive a Foul Play? Holy smokes, yes we can. You love to see it. We managed to get this thing deep into the red, and at this stage now, we are going to shield nothing. Save all our shields from the much harder hitting moves from Victini. Last resort does some decent chip damage. They now bring out the Victini. Can we make enough charge moves to close out this battle? Let's find out. We do have to shield up absolutely everything. They go for an overheat. Holy smokes, that was not what I was expecting. However, it does make some sort of sense. The opponent doesn't want to lower their own defense. They are now actually shielding up everything. Anyway, we make Crunch. Number 2, that has got all shields now from the Victini, and I'm going to have to overfarm. Can we overfarm enough to make a charge move from the Umbreon? We are running out of HP. I overfarm as much as I physically dare. I don't know who wins CMP. When the fuck do I see Drapion into Victini? But the overfarm is a beautiful overfarm as we reach the CMP tie. Charge move priority. Drapion closes in style. GG's, and thanks for playing. Moving on into the next battle, we catch the Medi in the lead. The opponent brings in a Sableye and Answer with the dinosaur Tyranitar going on an absolute smackdown farm down. It looks like these are super effective. The opponent fires off the Foul Play. I don't want to eat Foul Play. Number 2, so I'm going to fire off the Crunch. Crunch takes out Sableye. The opponent realizes they can't flip switch, and Tyranitar is going to die in about 2 seconds flat. 1, 2 counters. Thanks, Tyranitar, you done your job. We maintain the correct alignment. Sableye ripping through Metachan with the Shadow Claws. The opponent fires off the Ice Punch. We shrug it off, and the opponent has Mandibuzz in the back. Charm is hitting for big, super effective damage. We still have 2 shields. I am going to commit 1 here. Force the opponent to dump some energy. We are then going to Shadow Claw down this Mandibuzz, and it's going to be a 2-to-1 shield advantage to Metachan. Metachan is fairly healthy, so it looks like I am going to look to throw a charge move. The opponent is at 3. I really hope they're not on Power Up Punch. Do people on Power Up Punch, Ice Punch in this meta? I don't know. We are going to shield this up. Let's see what they throw. They go for the Power Up Punch, but Sableye should outpace. The opponent is now 1 short of the next Power Up Punch. I don't think Power Up Punch would KO, but either way, Sableye wins. CMP, another charge move priority win in the bank. And for some reason, we actually make charge moves in the last few battles. You love to see it. Moving on to the next one. We see Umbreon in the lead. As always, I'm just going to stay in and sack my lead. Sableye doesn't have the worst matchup here, but it definitely isn't positive. The opponent goes for a foul play. Sableye shrugs it off. I throw 1 Shadow Claw and the Power Gem, the correct timing to maximise our energy generation and give the least free amount of turns of energy to the opponent. The opponent fires off 1 more foul play. Sableye does go down, and we're now going to come in with Tyranitar. The opponent aggressively brings in Scrafty. Can we charm it down before they make a foul play? We cannot. We are going to have to shield this up. Foul play would probably knock out, again, every single Shadow Latias in existence, so we do shield it up. We are now pretty healthy. The opponent brings back out Umbreon. We can't charm it down before they make another charge move. Surely you're not running a triple dart. We shield up the foul play. Let's see what the opponent has in the back. We are going to need to fast move. Beat this thing down. I'm not going to throw a charge move. We're just going to go for as much fast move pressure as possible. Can Tyranitar manage to smack it down before they make 2 moves? The opponent fires off the acid spray. Can we smack it down before the dark pulse? Holy crap, we cannot. The opponent is going to win on 1 HP and a dream. I'm actually pretty happy when players play well and manage to survive the fast move beatdown. Moving on to the next one, we see Toxicroak in the lead. This one is on counter. Probably the moveset you would expect. We are going to tank the Mud Bomb. Is the opponent going to try and catch? It looks like they're just going to sack the Toxicroak, so we are going to fire off the foul play. Foul play resisted. Will knock out unless the opponent shields. They do shield it up. They let me get to 1 more foul play. Is the opponent willing to double shield? Holy smokes, they are willing to double shield. They must be weak to Ghost in the back, but perhaps they are weak to our Charmer as well. We see Toxicroak in the lead, so perhaps Tyranitar has some play. Against this back line, we commit to the Charm Down, Farm Down. The opponent has no shields. They've got Drapion in the back. We are going to allow the first Aqua Tail to come through. Aqua Tail does do a decent amount of damage for a pretty trash move that doesn't get same type attack bonus. The opponent doesn't know the counts. For Smackdown, they let me get to a crunch on a CMP tie crunch. Takes them out, and there is the Mandibuzz. Can we reach the Stone Edge? I am going to commit. Do we get there? Yes, we do. And you already know it's going to be hi Mandibuzz, bye Mandibuzz, GG's, and thanks for playing. This Willpower Cup is so confusing. They had 2 great Sableye answers in the back, but the opponent double shielded their lead. Whatever. The opponent has Gallade in the lead. They make a very nice catch, catching the foul play on Mandibuzz, but that chip damage does mean we are going to smack this thing all the way down. The opponent can throw whatever they want. We are going to get a shield back from Gallade. Gallade absolutely is not going to appreciate anything Tyranitar throws. Do we survive the 1 charm? Holy smokes, let's find out. Crunch does draw a shield, and it's actually Leopard in the back. Holy crap, we come in to our Charmer. Can we charm it down? Yes, we can. We're going to get off some more charm damage on Gallade, and that is going to be all she wrote. GG's, and thanks for playing. Moving on to the last battle of the video, we see another Charmer in the lead. Holy crap, it looks like I am not the only fast move beatdown player. The opponent switches out into Skunk Tank, looking to get a resisted foul play catch. They don't get it. We answer with the big Godzilla looking dinosaur. We tank the crunch. We fire off our own crunch on a CMP tie. Does Skunk Tank want to commit a shield? They do not. Down goes the skunk. We get deleted by 1 charm. Sableye has some loaded energy. I throw 1 Shadow Claw and the foul play. This will definitely draw a shield from the opponent. Can we make foul play number 2? We cannot. Gothitelle is low. 2 charms is going to take it out. We are going to shield up the Rock Slide. Can we charm our way to another victory? And the opponent has Toxicroak in the back. The poison typing means these charms are only neutral, but Shadow Pokemon far too oppressive. Toxicroak isn't at the back-to-back 1 charm. Takes care of Toxicroak. 1 charm takes care of Gothitelle. And another fast move beatdown in the books or in the bank. So those were my first battles in the Willpower Cup. I'll be honest, I had no intention of playing this cup, but some friends of mine asked to see triple shadows in the cup, so I oblige. So likewise, if you'd like to see any specific Shadow Pokemon on the channel, I really don't care about my elo at this stage, or any stage to be honest. We do reach Legend every season. I'm not actually Legend yet, but either way, name a Pokemon you want to see in its Shadow form and I will run it. So with that in mind, if you're enjoying the content, smash that like button. If you're new, consider subscribing, and I will see you all in the next one.